More than ever, video game developers are facing a bigger and broad challenge of creating amazing, immersive, and eye-popping games for a wide spectrum of hardware. Now an extensive list of consoles, with Sony and Microsoft promising to support decade-old consoles while still making the best performing version on brand new next-generation Xbox, PlayStation, and high-end, cutting-edge desktop gaming PCs. Eyes are all on concessions that the Xbox Series S economy model console can do, and even what the middle ground PS5 can accomplish with brand new, expansive, next-generation games. This is Colteastwood. Thank you for turning to the channel and checking out this video. Pre-orders are opening up for next generation right now, and everyone is wondering how these games will truly look and feel on the new consoles. If you end up enjoying this video, hit the like and subscribe to the channel, set your player to the full 2160p 60 frames per second, and let's look at next generation gameplay and how it will be possible. New information shows us that the lines between generations are blurred, with more games going to the old and new consoles while still providing that next level, new generation experience we've come to expect with an upgrade. In other words, the same great games are being scaled across the lowest tier PCs, consoles, and visually impressing owners of high-end PCs and the brand new super-powered consoles. The first concern with the PS5 and the Xbox Series is the accommodation for the 2013 era PS4 and Xbox One. This problem is evaporated by understanding that the consoles share the x86 architecture, or simply put, the same design language that makes a game run on a base Xbox One while also looking incredibly next level on a high-end PC with the latest graphics card. Many fans were quick to ridicule the Xbox for promising to support the Xbox One for 1 to 2 years into the next generation. Months later, after PlayStation's Jim Ryan touted that fans will feel special with the next generation only focus, two of their biggest games for PS5, Spider-Man Miles Morales and Horizon Forbidden West, are coming to PS4. Meaning that these games are designed to scale down for the PS4 consoles while also offering cutting-edge features on PlayStation 5 like ray tracing and high frame rates beyond the capabilities of the PS4. The big difference being that both of these PlayStation games look better than Xbox's Halo Infinite, which is a testament to game design, art direction, and developer talent. We already know that 343 can make a gorgeous Halo game looking at Halo 4 and 5 on weaker hardware, but having access to a wealth of power and processing in the new consoles opens up all new possibilities. There is a hidden advantage with the Xbox that will become evident with most developers that may see the Xbox Series S, not the X, competing with the PS5 in how games will look and play on next generation. Looking at the raw specs of the PS5 and Xbox Series S, it's clear that the PS5 is some 2 times more powerful, even more if teraflops mattered as a true metric, which they do not. With PS5 having a graphics advantage of 35% in raw compute. Except that isn't the whole story. Architecture. The PS5 is still, even after a full reveal and pre-order launch, the PS5 is still being discussed by developers and tech experts in the industry as a RDNA 1 console dressed as an RDNA 2 machine, with some features found in the full RDNA 2 architecture. With PS5 having a 35% advantage over the Xbox Series S, that number erodes quickly when DirectML and variable rate shading in the Series S are compared to the PS5, which still have not surfaced. DirectML and variable rate shading are efficiency features in RDNA 2 that upscale resolution sometimes better than anti-alias native resolutions, and variable rate shading, which will boost performance over 30% according to developers, while maintaining full quality in view of the player. Highly technical talk for minute details, but put simply, the Xbox Series has far more advanced and efficient tools available for developers to get the best visuals and performance out of the console that can cost $100 to $200 less than the PS5. Digital Foundry has talked to developers that love working with the Xbox Series consoles, but say that the kit, which targets Xbox One and Series consoles as well as PC, being harder to work with than the PS5 dev kit, which targets the PS5 and the PS4. But multi-plat developers are already working with PC configurations exponentially more broad and varied than the 4 Xbox consoles and 3 PlayStations. Codemaster's technical director is one of the many developers pleased with the results bringing games to the Xbox platform. He said this to Digital Foundry when asked about developing for the economy model Xbox Series S.
To be honest, it's really easy. Series S, the way it was pitched to me from Microsoft when they first told me about it, which was, golly, a long time ago now, they said Series S is Series X, but you should target 1440p instead. So yes, it has less RAM. You've seen that in the technical specs. In terms of development, it really comes down to, we have high resolution texture packs that are available for the higher end consoles that can do that. Actually, how it works in the Dirt 5 engine is we have literal files to describe configurations. So we'll have a configuration for quality on Xbox One, performance on Xbox One, then a completely different configuration again for PS4 that plays to its strengths. So it's not a carbon copy of the Xbox One version. It will be actually tailored for PS4 in quality and performance. The same goes through all of the different SKUs, including PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, Series S, Series X, PS5.
The Xbox Series S and X have advantages of being locked set targets of performance, much of it faster and stronger than the PS5. This illustration shows you how clocks on the Xbox Series consoles give developers a target, and the PS5 varies as it manages GPU or CPU demands. The PS5 relies on a feature set called Smart Shift that is causing unnecessary problems for developers like Capcom trying to get their latest game running on the PS5. The PS5 has 3 profiles to work with, one with a high GPU clock for graphics, one with a fast CPU clock for performance, and a third balanced between the CPU and the GPU. This allows developers to use the power of the PS5 and manage heat and power draws. According to an insider, 10K23, developers have no control over Smart Shift profiles. This is why we keep hearing that Resident Evil Village is running great on the Xbox Series S, but not the PS5. It will get ironed out, but just as some devs are adjusting to new tools for the Xbox game development kit, others will have to adjust to working with the required Smart Shift profiles in the PS5, making compromises with processing over graphics and vice versa. One other big advantage in the long list of many is the implementation of backward compatibility on the Xbox Series S and X over the PS5. Little, if anything, has been explained, let alone showed, of the PS5 back compat plan, with a sizzle of 20-some games from the PS4 era coming to PS Plus collection. These games are not announced to be enhanced or boosted for the PS5. It can be confidently assumed that the games here are strictly ports of the PS4 versions of games, playable and transferred up to the PS5. Add to this that Insomniac has not spoken about the PS4 version of Spider-Man coming to PS5 outside of a paid remaster bundled with Miles Morales. Sony has promised to bring 4,000 PS4 games to the PS5, but also drew a line that PlayStation games from 1995 all the way up to 2013 on the PS3 will not be supported on the new console, instead relying on the subscription fee paywall of PlayStation Now to stream games you may already own. In the same breath, fans were mocking the Xbox Series S for playing back-compat games, some nearly 5,000 games spanning all Xboxes at just 1440p 60 or 120 FPS with auto HDR, when the old Xbox One X of 2017 can run some games at full native 4K 30. Of course, this is a backhanded critique, with the Xbox Series S favoring 1440p 60 over 4K 30. Digital Foundry spoke to Xbox's Jason Ronald and confirmed that Xbox Series S will run these games at an enhanced resolution. There's a 3 times boost to resolution on both axes, meaning the titles targeting 480p on the original Xbox will hit a maximum of 1440p on the Xbox Series S. presumably with a range of performance benefits. The good news continues with the Xbox Enhanced 360 titles that were released for the Xbox One X. These games will also be enhanced for the Series S, this time running with a 2x2 resolution multiplier, bringing titles that ran at native 720p up to 1440p. While this doesn't match the max 4K we saw with the Xbox One X, there is the potential for improved performance elsewhere thanks to the much faster Zen 2 CPU architecture in scenarios where Xbox One X was limited by its Jaguar CPU cores. Series S has much more headroom. Now, wondering why a 2001 game like Halo Combat Evolved would run at 1440p on a brand new Xbox Series S is akin to wondering why a 2001 PlayStation game runs at 0 pixels on a brand new PS5. But the magic of the back-compat team will see mini games running at 60 FPS even when they were constrained to run at 30 FPS forever on console. Xbox said, quote, "We made it easy for existing Xbox One S games to be updated to run with double the frame rate when played on Series S as well. When games are updated, existing games can query to determine whether they're running on the new console. And in terms of the performance, the Series S provides well over double the effective CPU and GPU performance over the Xbox One, making it pretty straightforward for the games to do this. And in fact, the Series S GPU runs the same Xbox One S games with better performance over the Xbox One X. This puts to rest that the Xbox Series S cannot play games better than an Xbox One X of 2017. And according to this, we could see a large number or majority of Xbox One era games running at 60 FPS or 120 FPS with Auto HDR on the Series S and the Series X. Concerned that the PS4 and Xbox One will hold back the development of games like Halo Infinite, Spider-Man Miles Morales, or Horizon Forbidden West will quickly lead you to understand that game development has always been about making games incredible looking, immersive experiences, and responsive performance for gamers. Those games need the time, attention, and talent, and the funding to make them the amazing experience we've come to expect on the Xbox and PlayStation, while they scale down for lower-end hardware and lower-tier PC builds. The Xbox Series consoles with locked frequency clocks, full RDNA 2 feature sets, and more ways to play your games puts the Xbox in an advantageous position to reach far more players than they ever have in the past. The only problem is, can you get a new console pre-order for this holiday? This is Colteastwood. I feel right now we are standing right on the very edge of next generation with pre-orders going live. I was fortunate to get a hold of a PS5 pre-order the first night at 1:30 in the morning. Retailers pushed those out ahead of schedule. It was such a mess. I had planned all along to get the digital PS5 for $400, but like the majority, I had to settle for the $500 disc-based PS5. I'm also hearing that less than 25% of the PS5s are the digital console. Since Sony is losing about $50 on each digital PS5, they can say they have the price advantage over the Series X while selling the $500 console to most everybody else. I'm still trying to get a digital PS5 so I can cancel the disc-based one. And as far as the Xbox Series X and S, I'm hearing to expect those to sell out this week as well. Everyone's at home, the console sales are super hot, and even the Xbox One in 2013 sold out at the beginning of the generation. I'll be playing most everything on my Xbox, but I can't wait to see what PS5 has to offer. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel, add me on Xbox Live and Twitter, and join the channel or Patreon if you want early access to videos and monthly giveaways. Thanks for all your support this past few years. This year has been incredible, and I'm excited to see these consoles come home and play games on them. Let me know in the comment section what game you are going to be playing first on the PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. For me, it will be Assassin's Creed Valhalla. While you're in that comment section, people will argue, some will minimize your opinion. You're allowed to have a preference. This comment section's really great. I see far more positivity than negativity. So thanks to all of you. Keep it up, be excited, don't argue, and be nice.